Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing well and find yourself in good health and good spirits. And if not, I hope you do get there. We want to live by our neighbors' happiness, not their misery. If we're doing good and we see people suffering, that should keep us from feeling great because they're not doing good. Anyways, today I want to talk about my memories of Easter. So, I grew up, poor in the housing projects, in a dysfunctional home with an abusive alcoholic father. It's a common story in my community. And at Christmas time, I knew that by 11:30 at night, some uncles or my dad, somebody would get in a fight. They would get drunk and start a fight. I knew when we went to the Cinco de Mayo events and the kermeses that people had fun all day, and around 6, there were certain elements that were drunk and they started fighting. Sometimes they pulled out filetos and they had knife fights in front of the whole park. They were on some prison shit out here in society. And that could happen around 5, 6 o'clock. That's when families would start leaving, right? And this is the 80s. And so I knew that could happen at Christmas. We'd celebrate El Día del Guajolote, the day of the turkey. We were immigrants, so we were adapting, becoming Americanized, but applying our own terms to these American holidays. And eventually it's in Mexico now, where it's called El Día de Gracias, and they celebrate it over there the same as it's done here. And that wasn't a thing in the 80s. That was just immigrants doing it here and calling it Turkey Day. And now it's, I think, maybe even a national holiday in Mexico, and it's a day to give thanks. On Thanksgiving, I knew that somebody was going to get drunk and get in a fight, and all the kids would be traumatized, including me, because if you're a little kid, you still, you should be uncomfortable with seeing, uncles beat their wives, or grandpa or dad or brothers, like adults fighting, and you're a little kid. That's just scary. But on Easter, I don't have no memories of that happening. Like Easter, it was like a break from the world. And I'm not saying that Christmases were bad. I had good Christmases where I got a BB gun and a racetrack and other toys. And even though we were in the projects, I did get toys. It's not like it was all bad. But there was fighting and there was stress and during the get-togethers, and that didn't happen at Easter. For some reason, like, folks knew to take a break. And I remember that, like, leading up to Easter, my mom would go to Macy's with us. And to us, as immigrants, Macy's was like taking part in the American dream. Because otherwise, we were shopping at stores where one birthday, I got some shoes that didn't even fucking match. One looked like a bootleg Adidas, and the other one looked like a bootleg Nike. They didn't even have the same things. And that was a birthday gift. But on Easter, we got good clothes. And so my mom would go, and we'd go to Macy's, and she would go to the clearance racks, which is a habit that has stuck with me. Like, my first shopping, I don't go look for brands. Where's the clearance rack section? And then I'll go look through everything. Worst comes to worst, I can't find nothing, then I'll go to the regular thing. But I start at the clearance racks. And we'd get, like, the nicest clothes we would wear all year, new for Easter. And the clothes would be hanging out. It would be like a back-to-school day, because those would be school clothes for picture day, for awards day, for weddings, for bautismos, quinceañeras, funerals. That became the outfit that I wore for the year. And for my sisters as well, right? And so, and the other kids, like the immigrant community would go to church. And because we lived in the housing projects, and this might have even been during Reagan's time, like our elementary school, we ate hella good. We went on field trips, and the elementary school served only the projects. In fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, though, like the major field trips that they would go on, they wouldn't let me go. They said that like I didn't earn it, and so like the whole school would go, and I would be fucking sitting there at school by myself. I would be hella mad. And then I remember in the projects one time, you know, the city, somebody brought buses and took everybody to water slides, and I couldn't go because they said I was a troublemaker. I think I was just mischievous. That shit sucked too. But Easter, like, they were Easter egg hunts, and we had these clothes that like we would look forward to the week leading up to it to putting on, because that would be the nicest we would look for the whole year. We'd put them on again, but by then they were already worn one day, and you know, and so I remember Easter egg hunts and being excited about any little Easter egg basket and getting eggs, and even being excited about hard-boiled eggs. I would be eating those motherfuckers as I'm looking for other eggs. That's probably where I first ate a hard-boiled egg, was during the Easter egg hunt. I remember cracking it and saying, "Hey man, this thing's blue. Is it safe?" And they're like, "Man, that's just the dye. That's cool." And then like all the other kids didn't even want those eggs. I would take them and eat them. And so Easter was just like good memories for me, you know, as a kid that had a lot of like, I don't know. And when I say, you know, in the projects, we were probably a little bit poorer than the other kids. Than a lot of the kids, or at least the other families that my family all communicated with. Like you didn't know there was what rich people were, because everybody looked the same and lived in the same thing. And levels of rich was their refrigerator had more food. They had like a ColecoVision, or even Pong before everybody else. And, you know, they had a fat Pioneer stereo system that, you know, they bought stolen from the neighborhood thief who would always come around with stuff to sell that they got from burglaries. And occasionally one person in the whole projects might have like a Corvette, and they would drive it up onto the lawn and park it in front of their house, as opposed to on the street with the rest of the cars. And the city would come in the middle there was a big park, and they would have an Easter egg hunt there, and those were good memories. But I think most of all, like Easter, it was like just a break from any bad stuff that you know, just getting yelled at or hit because motherfuckers are drunk and in a bad mood. Like everybody just knew to be on their best behavior on Easter. And I don't know if that's the case now. Since that time, I've kind of moved in a direction where Easter isn't as important to me as the night that, you know, Jesus was betrayed, denied, tried, and ultimately executed. You know, because the lunar calendar is a night one. So at sunset, the day starts, and it goes all the way to the next sunset. So one night and then the next day are part of the same day. So I kind of commemorate that a little bit more than Easter, and so I'm not really out there like that. But I hope that if there are kids out there that are in similar situations, maybe that they live in the projects and they don't have a lot because, their parents, struggle for one reason or the other, um, including systemic structural racism. But, also doing their part to contribute to um, not being more successful. I hope that little kids in those same situations catch a break today. I hope that they get some nice clothes that they can feel good about, and and they have fun, at Easter egg hunts, and they feel included, and that it's and that they go to like seek some type of spirituality, because I think that was part of it too. I had to go to church. I didn't like it, but I think if you're gonna celebrate Easter, it should be important to just acknowledge like what the point of it is, which is a sacrifice, right? And so that said, and I don't want to get pushy there. I hope everyone has a joyous day, the like the days I remember having on Easter. I don't think I got any bad memories of Easter. Um, so I hope you guys have a good one. Much love.